All right, imagine for just a second that it's the year 2040. Running a modern nation is without a doubt one of the most insanely complex responsibilities in the entire world. I mean, think about it. Governments manage our transportation networks, our healthcare infrastructure, education systems, energy grids, public safety, the whole shebang. And every single one of those departments generates an almost incomprehensible avalanche of information every single day. So in this explainer, we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating question. AI and government? Could intelligent agents help build better nations? Let's take a little journey a couple of decades into the future to find out. To really grasp the high stakes of modern governance, you have to realize that leaders are facing thousands of huge decisions every single day. Things like where exactly should a new hospital be built? Now, that sounds like a simple question, right? But it is incredibly complex. Which roads actually need to be expanded first? How in the world should emergency budgets be allocated? Which specific communities need new schools the most? Every single one of these choices literally affects millions of lives, and the sheer volume of information needed to get them right is just staggering.
Part 1. A city in 2040. So picture a city in that year, 2040, and it is growing incredibly rapidly. As citizens, people just like you and me who are sitting in endless traffic or sending our kids to these schools, we rightfully expect faster, better public services. But with that rapid growth comes immense compounding pressure. Schools are bursting at the seams, traffic congestion is visibly getting worse day by day, hospitals are completely under pressure just trying to find open beds, energy demand is absolutely surging. These aren't just minor hiccups, they require immediate yet highly calculated responses from leaders.
Moving on to part 2, AI behind the scenes. To tackle this massive headache, imagine teams of AI agents just quietly humming away behind the scenes. Now, I want to be super clear here because you might be wondering if the robots are taking over. They absolutely are not. Notice the stark contrast. AI agents are there to organize information and support long-term planning. On the flip side, AI is definitely not making laws. It is not replacing our elected leaders. It acts as a highly capable, super fast assistant, not a commander.
All right, part 3, real-world scenarios. So what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's take city planning as an example. Instead of humans crunching numbers for months, AI agents can continuously analyze specific real-time metrics. We're talking population trends, housing demand, school enrollment, traffic patterns, and hospital capacity. By instantly cross-referencing all of these trends, the AI can actually identify which neighborhoods are going to need extra public services years before a severe shortage ever hits. It literally shifts leadership from constantly putting out fires to proactive, smart planning.
Or think about disaster relief right after a major flood. It's usually total chaos, right? Well, here, AI steps in to follow a super clear workflow. First, it organizes the thousands of incoming requests for help. Second, it estimates the total damage using available things like satellite data. And third, it prioritizes the logistical planning for getting supplies where they need to go. Now, public officials still make the final call on exactly how those resources are distributed, but they get to start their decision-making process with crystal clear situational awareness. That's a game changer. Now let's zoom out and consider an entire country's transportation network. We are talking millions of data points streaming in from road sensors, railway systems, airports, shipping ports, and public transit. AI agents can just continuously monitor all of this infrastructure 24/7, flagging maintenance needs before a tiny bit of wear and tear turns into a major expensive disruption. This kind of preventative planning, it reduces long-term costs significantly. And the exact same technology could even be used to analyze anonymous, strictly governed public health trends to figure out exactly where medical resources are needed the most. But here is the absolute most critical takeaway for you today. The AI supports planning, not policy. Whether we're talking about fixing railways or deploying doctors, human professionals and policymakers remain fundamentally responsible for every single decision. Period. Which brings us to part 4. Values, laws, and people. This is where we have to make a definitive pivot away from all these cool technical capabilities and look at the messy human reality of democracy. Because government decisions aren't just giant math problems to be solved. They involve values, priorities, laws, and fierce public debate. Artificial intelligence simply can't decide what society should value. Should a neighborhood prioritize building a new park or a new parking garage? A machine literally can't answer that. That debate belongs strictly to people. And that leads us right into another massive issue, and that is transparency. We, as citizens, absolutely deserve to understand exactly how these huge public decisions are being made. If AI systems are going to support government planning, they have to be subject to strict oversight, total accountability, and real public trust. You simply can't have some mysterious black box making recommendations that affect millions of lives behind closed doors. Ultimately, when we start weaving technology into the fabric of governance, we find ourselves at a major fork in the road. Technology has to strengthen our democracy, not weaken it. If AI is deployed, its ultimate goal absolutely must be to fortify our institutions, making them much more responsive and helpful, rather than opaque and detached from the citizens they serve. And finally, part 5, the future of governance. So, looking down the road, it's pretty easy to envision a future where specialized AI agents are just constantly working across transportation, healthcare, and emergency management, analyzing data, helping officials respond lightning fast to changing conditions. Yet, no matter how insanely advanced these systems become, leadership remains a profoundly human responsibility. Just think about these traits: compassion, justice, accountability, public trust. AI can organize a million spreadsheets brilliantly, but it cannot feel compassion for a struggling neighborhood. These core tenets exist to serve people, not algorithms. The absolute best governments of the future, they aren't just going to be the ones with the flashiest tech. They're going to be the ones that successfully combine these incredibly intelligent tools with completely transparent institutions, responsible human leadership, and highly informed citizens. Because a nation is not defined by its computers, it is defined by its people. And technology should only ever exist to help us build a better future together. Which leaves us with a truly provocative thought to end on today. We've just seen how AI can help manage the heavy lifting of the present. But can AI agents actually help humanity prepare for the future itself? I'm talking about predicting massive global trends, identifying existential risks, and supporting better long-term decisions for our entire species. Well, we are going to be exploring that extraordinary question in our next explainer. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want to discover how AI agents are transforming public services and society, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and join us for the next episode. The future of good governance really may depend on both human wisdom and intelligent tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.